In the game of Sixzee, you will need 6 dice, a pen, and a score sheet. Alternatively, you can go to the website freethedice.com and you can click on Info, and then Yahtzee News and Downloadables, and finally you can click on Free Printable Sixzee Score Sheet, and you can print and even laminate your own score sheet from here. If you've played Yahtzee before, this game will be very familiar to you. It's very similar to Yahtzee, but with some major differences. This game has 6 dice and a different score sheet. On your turn, you may roll the dice 3 times, and on each roll you can choose which dice to roll and which ones to keep. After 3 rolls, you will decide where on the score sheet you would like to place your score. Once all of the spaces are filled, that's the end of the game, and whoever has the highest score at the end of the game is the winner. You can play up to 6 rounds. Most games are only 1 round. Before you can play any turns, you ought to know what all of these score spaces mean. So we'll start over here with the numbers: 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. If you decide to place your score in any of these boxes, at the end of your turn, you'll add up the total of the number that you score in. So for example, if this was my dice roll, and I decide to put that in 4s, I will only score the 4s. Okay, so these dice won't count. So the total of the 4s is 8. So if that goes in 4s, I would score 8 points. Like that. Alternatively, I might decide to put it in 5s. Let's get rid of that. And I only rolled 2 5s, so that would be 10 points. If I decided to put that in 6s, I didn't roll any 6s, so I would score 0. Now the of a kind section. You have 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. To score anything in 3 of a kind, you need at least 3 numbers the same. So if I scored this in 3 of a kind, I would score 0. However, if I had rolled that instead, now I have at least 3 numbers the same, so I can score it in 3 of a kind, and I just add up all of the spots. So how many have we got? 5, 6, 7, 11, 15, 19. So that would be 19 in 3 of a kind. It's the same rule for 4 of a kind and 5 of a kind, except that you need more of them. So as you can see, if this was my dice roll, I only have 3 4s. So if I was to put it in 4 of a kind, it would be 0. But what if I rolled something else? If I had rolled that without cheating, that's at least 4 of the same number, and it's also at least 5 of the same number. So I could put it in either of those 2 slots, and I'd score all of the points on the dice, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 21 points. So that can go in either 4 of a kind or 5 of a kind, and score 21. Alright, now we come to the combos. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 means you should have at least 3 of one number, 2 of a second number, and 1 of a third number. And if you get this pattern, you add up all those points and put them in 3, 2, 1. They go in there. Okay, if you don't have that combination and you want to put that in 3, 2, 1, I didn't get the combination, so that would be 0 points. To score in 3 pairs, you need 3 pairs of numbers. So for example, there we have 3 pairs of numbers. If I had rolled that, I would add up all the dice, 10, 22, and score 22 in 3 pairs. If I had rolled that, that's still 3 pairs. I have a pair of 4s, another pair of 4s, and a pair of 1s, so that can still go in 3 pairs, and this time it's 18. 2 triples is very similar. You need to have 2 groups of 3 numbers the same. So if that had been a 1 instead, now I have 2 triples, 2 groups of 3 numbers. Okay? Those numbers don't have to be different, so they could all be 1s. Looks like frog spawn. And if I had rolled that's 2 groups of 3 numbers, I could put that in 2 triples, although it would only be 6 points, so that's not very many. Okay, now we come on to the straights. What's low straight? Low straight is when you have 4 numbers in a row. Here we have, if this had been my roll, There we have our 4 numbers in a row, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's a low straight. And with the straights, you don't add up the points on all the dice, you get a set score. So low straight is 20 points. But that's not the only way to score a low straight. If this had been a 6 instead, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's still 4 numbers in a row, so that's still a low straight. High straight is 5 numbers in a row. So here I do actually already have 5 numbers in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's considered a high straight, so I could score that in high straight, and that's 30 points. A super straight is 6 numbers in a row, so you need 1 of each number. So if I had rolled that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's a super straight, and that's 40 points. A Sixzee is when you have 6 numbers all the same. So if I had ended up with all 6s, that's a Sixzee. Can be any number, it doesn't have to be a 6. That's also a Sixzee, and a Sixzee is worth 60 points. So that leaves us with chance. What is chance? Chance is whatever you end up with, no matter what combination. You just add up all the dice and score them in chance. So for example, there's my first roll, there's my second, let's say I re-roll this one. But just for an example, I'm going to put that in chance. Anything can go in chance. So it's 2, 3 is 5, 10, 26 points in total. I scored 26 in chance. Why would you ever choose to score 0? As the game goes on, there are going to be turns where you don't roll what you're looking for. Then you have to put the score somewhere. So sooner or later you might have to score a 0 even though you don't want to. You might be aiming for a difficult combination but you don't quite make it, and you decide to sacrifice something less likely. So you score a 0 somewhere else to give you another chance for that combination. So now we have to talk about the bonuses. In Sixzee there are 4 bonuses available to you. 1 for each section of the scorecard. We have a bonus for the numbers, a bonus for the of a kinds, a bonus for the pairs and triples, or combos as I like to call them, and a bonus for the straights. On this side of the scorecard it's very simple. If you get more than 0 in each box in each section, then you score 30 points bonus. So if I get more than 0 in 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and 5 of a kind, then I score a 30 point bonus, which I can put down here. For the pairs and triples, as long as I get more than 0 in each of those 3 boxes, I can put 30 in the bonuses here. And the same for the straights. If I get all the straights, here I can put 30 points. The numbers is a bit more complicated. For the numbers, you need a total in all of these boxes. In all 6 boxes, you need a total of 84 or more, and then you get 30 in the numbers. Now how to get 84? 84 happens to be an average of at least 4 of each number. So if I get at least 4 1s, at least 4 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s, that comes to 84. There is one more bonus to talk about. If you score a Sixzee and you get 60 points, and then later you get a second Sixzee and you score more than 0, you get a bonus 100 points. For every additional Sixzee after your first one that's scored, as long as you score more than 0, you get another 100 points. There's one more rule, which is using Sixzee as a joker. Let's say I'm playing the game and I score 0 in Sixzee, or 60, it doesn't matter, but as long as there's a score there. And then during the game I score this, and I score 8 in 2s, I score some other scores as well. And then if later on I get another Sixzee, so I get a Sixzee on 2s, but Sixzee is already full and 2s are already full. So I can put that score anywhere on the right hand side as a joker. So I can put it in super straight and score 40, or I could put it in high straight and score 30. I could even put it in 3-2-1 because it's another Sixzee and Sixzee's full and the number I scored it on is full. So if I put that in 3-2-1s, that would be 12. And that is how you play Sixzee. Every player has their own scorecard, and they can either take turns to roll the dice and then choose where to score their points, or they can play all at the same time, as long as you have enough dice for each player to do their rolls. At the end of the game, players will add up their scores, and whoever has the most is the winner. You can click through to my next video, where I show you how to play on the website, freethedice.com, and take you through a sample game.